Hey Taurus, I'm Chris. Welcome to your reading for August 2019. As you guys know, I haven't been here for a little while, but I haven't been doing nothing. As you can see, I moved and I got this amazing new professional camera microphone stand setup thing, and it's amazing. If you're new to my channel, welcome to the house. If you're returning, thank you so much for sticking with me. And I'm not going to waste time right now in your reading to talk about where I've been or what I've been up to. There'll be a video coming out about all that if you're interested. Otherwise, Taurus, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into your reading, because August is a month of intensity. We're coming out of a lot of retrogrades. We're coming out of eclipse season. And there's a lot going on for you guys. If you want to check out my website in the description, by the way, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video, and you can check out my website for private readings, donations, all that good stuff. So I was getting a couple downloads for you guys as I was coming into this reading, and one of the biggest things I think that you can look forward to in August, Taurus, is a lot of fun and a lot of celebration. I'm just checking out my notes here. There's a strong sense this month of connecting to your roots. Now, for a lot of you, that's going to be connecting literally to family, to friends, to your ancestry, even in certain ways, to your heritage. But it's also about connecting to the things that make you you. And that's the name of the game for August for Taurus, is about what makes you you, what makes you unique. We're getting really situated this month, Taurus, in those things that make you stand out, that make you yourself. Now, Taurus has a reputation for being stubborn, but I think that's because you guys have a very clear sense of what you're about, and trust yourself and have strong instincts and are smart enough to know what you're all about. So during these good times in August, it's a good time to reflect, to make plans, like literally write things down. Journaling is very important for you guys this month. There's a need to balance activity and rest. Typically, you don't have to tell Taurus to rest, but I keep getting this image in my head of walking out into the sunlight and almost being blinding, and the sun feeling really good on your skin and being really exciting, but at the same time needing to stay a little bit in the shadows, to retreat, to find that good balance this month between activity and rest. Starting out the reading here, Taurus, in your central situation, we have the Eight of Wands. So exactly what I'm talking about is August being a month of lots of action, lots of activity, lots of things moving and getting your blood flowing. The Eight of Wands is often a card of communication, and I think this month, Taurus, this feels more internal for me right now. This feels like you guys getting rooted, again, the word rooted. I'm going to write that down, maybe roots. Getting really rooted in things that make you unique, the things that make you you. Now I'm going to toss this aside. Taurus, lots of fast moving things. I think that what's happening here is that there's been change, and that you're on the cusp of change. With this movement here of the Eight of Wands, it feels very much like we're in a period of transition of what was and what we were becoming. And now, Taurus, with this energy, there again is the need for rest. There's the need to communicate, but again, communicating with yourself. That's why I think journaling, meditation, that kind of thing is really important for you this month, because we need to reflect. As we move, we need to sort of course correct and make sure we're on the path that we want to be on. Make sure that we're staying in touch with the things that makes us you. And back to the sense of uniqueness, with the Eight of Wands here, I think we are sort of communicating that to the world, and communicating who we are and expressing ourselves in a really strong way. I think there might be some changes that are happening in your identity, Taurus. I think that some of the things that you've maybe been relying on as part of your identity are sort of shifting out of being. And now what's happening is that we have to reaffirm and reconnect to what our being is now. And I know this has come up in past readings for you guys about that sense of recalibration, but I think it's because now there's been movement, because there's been change, because there's this in-between place of what was and what will be. So reflect this month. Introspection, big deal. Look, at our ideals, Taurus, we have the Knight of Wands. What this is saying to me is big, ambitious energy. What this is saying to me is fire. And you see, so far the first two cards starting out this reading are fire cards. So this is exactly what I said about movement and ambition and activity. That's going to be a big player in the month of August. With the Knight of Wands, as coming up as your ideals, you're really ready to make shit happen, I feel like. I feel like there's almost a little anger here too. So I don't know if this is like sadness manifesting as anger for some of you guys, or just fuel. I think that what's been happening here is there's almost like a frustration with the Knight of Wands, a frustration about like why you don't have the things you think you should have by now, why your career isn't in the place that you hoped it would be right now. And I think with both of these cards here so far, Taurus, I think we have to emphasize patience, and we have to be very careful to not get too far ahead or push too much. With both of these cards, there's potential for burnout. There's potential for like burning yourself. There's a potential with the Knight of Wands when I'm looking at him of being so ambitious and so driven that you end up hurting yourself somehow. That you end up making moves before you're actually ready for those moves to be made. That you end up pushing and pushing and pushing almost too much to the point where you might fall on your face. So as much as we want to be ambitious, as much as we want to drive and make things happen and go, be very methodical and deliberate and precise is the word I want to say, right? It's not time to be a bull in a china shop. It's a time to be almost surgical in how you move forward this month. In our past here, Taurus, we have the beginning of the waning moon. I don't remember the technical term for this phase of the moon. I think it's like waning gibbous. But with this card here, Taurus, we're talking about timing, right? And we're in a place now where I'm trying to see if you can get that nice holographic shine on that. There you go. We're in a time where the past is moving away. Again, the identities that we had, it's starting to fade out, right? This is our fullness. This is sort of Taurus, I think, in the past, sort of having a good sense of what you were about, like being very confident in what your life was, being very confident in who you were. And now that identity, like I said earlier, is sort of phasing out. And with that, Taurus, it's next to this Knight of Wands, there's almost this drive to like fill that, right? This darkness is starting to come out into being, and it's like fill, light it up. There needs to be a sort of calmness. There needs to be a sort of, this came through when I was meditating on you guys, and I didn't know how to say it, but I'm going to say it now. It was about, the phrase came into my head, you're more stable than you think you are. So now, however that applies to you in your current circumstances, just remember that and tell yourself that. You're more stable than you think you are. And that's the message that's coming up here with this card, is to not rush to fill the void, to be okay with change, to be okay with the flux that's happening right now, because actually in the bigger picture, if relationships are changing, if careers are changing, whatever it is, like, you as a person need to remind yourself of how solid you are and how capable you are. And I heard this expression was that confidence is trusting that you're able to handle whatever comes your way. And this month, Taurus, you have to be confident that you are capable, that no matter what is coming in and out, that you can handle it effectively. Now we have the Magician in our past. So I think you guys, I think part of what's happening here is that you are probably on a powerhouse of creativity. You were making things happen. Things were moving. Things were flying. You were creating new opportunities for yourself. You were getting new jobs. You were doing all these things that were happening. So I think part of why there's a sense of almost anxiety here is that it's almost like there was a high. Accomplishing this, successful this, I'm doing my thing, I'm making things happen, everything's in order, everything's good. And that was coming from this Magician, because you guys were creating. You guys were making a lot of things happen for yourself. I kind of like the way the Magician looks like he's my head right now. The Magician is a very personal card to me. It's my soul card. I'm gonna do videos about that, but it's like my purpose card in life, and I resonated with it very strongly as a writer, as a reader, as like, you know. Anyway, Taurus. So you need to remind yourself right now of all your accomplishments. I knew a Taurus who was like in sobriety, and he talked about when he dealt with stress, he would make these like gratitude lists. I think that's a technique you learn in AA, these gratitude lists. And Taurus, I think this month is a good month to make those gratitude lists. Just to put in finite terms in front of your face what is good about your life, what you've accomplished, what you've been successful at. Again, August is a month to play and have fun. Earth signs sometimes have difficulty having fun because it's like if you're not doing, then there's almost this like anxiety that creeps in. And so it's okay this month, Taurus, especially now here with the Seven of Wands, it's okay this month to use this time to connect to what is great about yourself. Here we have the Seven of Wands in your most recent past. So there's been struggle, there's been fighting, there's been difficulties. There's been a need to sort of like, and there almost feels like I said in the beginning, like a sort of anger, like a sort of difficulties with your emotions, difficulties with, but it's like self-created, right? It's like it's in your head. There's difficulties because you're sort of maybe beating yourself up. That you're like the way the wands in this card sort of form this crisscross pattern around that central wand. It's almost as if like these smaller wands are your thoughts and your ideas and your beliefs about yourself, and they're like kind of domineering your actual sense of self. So Taurus, don't let your mind be your worst enemy this month. There are plenty of enemies out there, Taurus. You don't need to create the drama for yourself in your head. You don't need to hold yourself back by thinking that you're not good enough or not adequate or not in the place where you should be. There's so much energy here already, y'all, of doing the most, and not in the best way, right? Doing the most in a way where it's like, again, that sense of having to fill a void. But it's like grasping. You're like putting energy maybe in places where your wheels are turning so fast and thinking and like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that. I'm not going to be okay until I have stability here. I'm not going to be okay until I have stability there. And then it's like you're creating this self-fulfilling prophecy of not being okay. Our turning point here, Taurus, what we were talking about is the Tower, right? So I think that this is sort of a sort of sugar crash, right? Coming from here to this high of I'm dope, I'm doing my thing, I'm killing it, to things around you now that have sort of fallen apart. This is what I said from the beginning, Taurus, before we even started this reading, about your identity. The Tower, more than calamity, is about the deconstruction of falseness in your life, or the deconstruction of what no longer serves. So when the Tower crumbles, it's sort of a crumbling of our egos, a crumbling of the things that we've built ourselves up on, like built our identity around, and that's why it can be so devastating. The lightning bolt that hits the Tower is a flash of revelation. It's circumstances outside of our control that are making sort of this anxiety and stress and calamity. Taurus, this month, you sort of have to let your ego crumble a little bit. And that doesn't mean ego in terms of like your self-esteem. I mean ego in terms of the identity that you've created for yourself. You don't have a choice with the Tower. The Tower takes that choice out of your hands. The Tower says, bitch, I'm doing this. You thought this was stable? You thought that you could just coast? You thought that you could just rely on this always being there for you? You thought you could rely on always sort of being this kind of person? Reinvent, Taurus. Near future, Taurus, we have the Ten of Swords. So, 2 cards. Don't get scared. This is not doom and gloom. But you're not going to win if you keep going this way. You're not going to win unless you let things fall apart. The Ten of Wands is something that the Ten of Swords, looking at it here, it's something that a fight you've been having. Now you see, the bottom row of this reading, we have on one side of the Tower, we have the Seven of Wands, fighting, persisting, going. And on the other side of the Tower, we have the Ten of Swords, defeat, having to admit where you need to give up, having to admit what's no longer working, having to let those parts of yourself fall away. And it's going to be a little painful. It's going to be a little painful. But I think part of what eclipse season has brought out in us, guys, is that one of my takeaways from eclipse season is that with change comes discomfort. With change comes a little pain. And we have to go into our lives and into the world understanding that discomfort and pain is part of transitioning, is part of change. You have to mourn, Taurus. You have to mourn. Whatever it is that you're mourning, you have to let yourself mourn. You have to let it mourn. You guys hold on to things a lot. You guys are really loyal to things. You invest so much in it that you don't want to let it go sometimes. But what these cards say is you don't have a choice, Taurus. Whether you want it to go or not, it's going. It's gone. The comforts that this thing gave you are gone. So, mourn. Mourn, Taurus. Going forward, we have the Seeker in reverse. Again, like this month, guys, it's not a month to make big moves. The Seeker in reverse tells me that there's still more reflection to do. Upright, the Seeker is going out into the world and finding things and discovering things and you know, that kind of thing. In reverse, it's introspection. It's not outward seeking, it's inward seeking. What did I say from the beginning of this reading, guys? It's a month of introspection. It's a month of reflection. I think this month, guys, is a good month to journal. This month is a good month to budget. It's anything that can get you out of your own head is important. You see the way all those words are swirling around his head? To me right now, that feels like confusion. It feels like confusion. Meditate. One of the things I picked up coming to this reading is that the breath is very important for you guys this month as an outlet for stress. If you find yourself stressing out, if you find yourself feeling super anxious, sigh. This is something air signs do very naturally. I constantly find myself people asking, Chris, you alright? Because I'm like, every time I'm like, like that's how I get it out. I'm Gemini with the Libra moon. Air is like how you release. You guys rule the throat. Allow things to pass through you. Allow the breath to take things away from you. Practice deep breathing. Practice sighing as a way of stress relief. Rounding out this reading, guys, we have the Two of Wands. So lots of fire energy this month. Lots of movement. It's funny because I just did Aries and they got just as many pentacles as you guys got wands. So there's an interplay, I think, with fire signs and earth signs. But Two of Wands, Taurus, is about looking to the future. Again, this is a card that says we're like at this doorway, we're at this passageway, we're at this portal, but we're not going through it yet. We're looking through it, we're sizing up the playing field, we're figuring out, we're like mapping things out, we're trying to figure out where to go. This is a month for vision. This is a month for looking. Not going, looking. Going right now could be dangerous. Because I feel like this is why you're going. Because I feel like this is why you're going so hard. Because you're you know what I'm saying, Taurus? This is what I was saying before. This is like anxiety. This is anxiety inducing. Things are being lost and that's why you're going so hard. And now it's time to not go that hard. Bottom of the deck, Taurus, we have the Ten of Cups. So this is what I was saying about being rooted to your family, to your community. You've had a time of happiness. There's been joy, there's been celebration, there's been success. And now at the bottom of the deck, this is what you want to do this month. You want to celebrate, you want to have fun. And have fun, Taurus, have fun. There's an emphasis here on needing to sort of not take things so seriously. Not in an escapism kind of way, but in a way that allows you to relax a little bit. Normally I wouldn't encourage escapism, but right now, Taurus, it's a good time to just like forget your problems. It's morning. You know, when you're mourning, you have to just allow yourself to relax. You have to allow yourself to withdraw. You have to allow yourself to, not engage in life in the same ways that you normally would. Outcome card. Outcome card is the Three of Wands in reverse. More wands. So much fire. And I love when I do this little kind of channeling before the readings, because what did I say when I started out? The sun is really bright. Could burn you, right? Wands, 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 wands. More than half this reading is fire. That's, in my opinion, a little too much fire. And with the Three of Wands in reverse, guys, this is about internalizing your plans. This is about internalizing where you want to go. This is about, you know, they say this card upright is like your ships are coming in or whatever. This is about not waiting for that. This is about not expecting that. This is about not expecting much, to be honest. And not in a way that's pessimistic, but in a way that's like pause. Like Taurus, this month, pause a little bit. Just pause. It's okay, it's a good thing. The Three of Wands, it feels like collaborative. It feels like spending time with your loved ones. It feels like, again, connecting. Starting out the reading, ending the reading. Movement, not so much. But Taurus, I think the message here, sometimes I keep looking at it and I feel like almost in pessimism. And I think it's really important to not become pessimistic. Again, that's why mourning is important, right? About allowing what is changing to change. Chill this month, Taurus. Just chill. All right, we're going to pull we're going to pull one last card, bit of advice from the Oracle. And here we go. We have the Daemon. So let's not be overwhelmed if I'm coming across as negative. This is not negative. The Daemon is sort of like similar in energy to like the Devil card. It's about the way we keep ourselves restrained. It's about the way we are self-defeating. The saboteur, right? Having control over us. This month, Taurus, be very aware of how you are sabotaging yourself. Be aware of the way you're staying connected to things that you know are hurtful and the way you're hurting yourself. Be aware of the way you're a slave to addictions, to negative patterns. Reflect. Don't look to, I know I said escapism before, but be very careful about not looking to the wrong things for relief. Be careful about indulging in, drugs, alcohol, food, sex, any of those bad things that taken to an extreme could be damaging. Sit in your feelings is what I want to end this reading with. Just sit in your feelings. It's okay to feel. It's going to help you move forward. All right, Taurus, so I'm going to wrap up this reading. I don't want to get political in these readings, and I don't think that what I have here is political, so I just want to make a little comment about this sign here. Whether you're Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, no human is illegal. No matter what you believe about the future of immigration policy or what that policy should be, when we call people illegals, we're dehumanizing people. And when we dehumanize people, it allows for human rights violations to happen. So again, this is not political. This is not partisan. No matter what you believe, here in our house, we treat people with humanity and we treat people with respect. It's okay for you to believe whatever you want and believe in whatever policies you believe in. But no human is illegal. And I want you to remember that. All right, guys, I love you so much. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. That was like a Jerry Springer thing, right? Love you guys. Have a great month. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.